When I was little, my first action hero, the first person that I really wanted to be like was Rambo. You guys remember Rambo from First Blood? A quiet drifter is passing through town. He's harassed by local law enforcement, and they quickly find out that this is not somebody that they should mess with. I like Rambo. I loved Rambo because he was everything I wanted to be. He was strong, he's confident, he was highly skilled, and he was fearless. And he was not only everything that I wanted to be, he was everything that I felt I wasn't. And everything that society tells us that we should be. The perfect soldier, the perfect machine, the perfect tool. And Hollywood gives us a steady diet of this warrior archetype. And these movies make billions because of it. And they have slowly corrupted what we think we need as human beings. I mean, we think we can do it all with those traits. Tough, fearlessness, skill. We think that that's all we need. But as we take on these attitudes as a country, to be unwavering, unforgiving, to be the doers of what need to be done, that's gotten us pretty far. And that's all well and good. But there's one thing that Rambo didn't have. There's one thing that he didn't really show an example of, and that is compassion. Rambo didn't care about anything but staying alive. And that's what we consider to be a strength, survival overall, right? And we can't go around being compassionate with everything, because compassion complicates things. It changes our actions. It makes us pause. It makes us consider. We can't just jump right into doing. We're compassionate. We're thinking about the other person and how they feel. So we've got this paradox of not wanting to be compassionate so we can get things done and survive, but we still want to live in a world that is compassionate towards us. As individuals, we respond well to compassion. We feel strongly about the acknowledgement of our own personal suffering. So we're living lives in a lot of ways. Our society kind of promotes us and encourages us to live this paradox of being tough and not needing of compassion, but then all the while under the covers, deep down, we really want that compassion. So what's the big deal about compassion anyway? And we're talking about healing all this month. What does compassion have to do with healing? And how do we cultivate more compassion in our lives? All good questions that I hope to explore with you today. The first thing we need to know about compassion is that it's natural and good. It's good to empathize. It's good to care for one another. It's good to act from a sense of compassion. And compassion leads to giving of yourself. And when we give, we are living in accordance to the master plan. It's scientifically proven. I found a great article on this website, yogajournal.com. And in this article, they state this: brain scans of people in the act of giving have found that generous deeds activate the same reward centers in the brain that pleasures like food and sex do. When these areas are stimulated, dopamine and other feel-good neurotransmitters are released, resulting in pleasurable feelings that can range from simple contentment all the way to euphoria. And isn't nature amazing? It encourages us to survive by rewarding positive behaviors. That's the intent of dopamine and all these feel-good neurotransmitters, is to give us a little pat on the head saying you're doing what you should do, okay, overall as a race, as a human race. So in order to survive, a notable point in that quote is, in order to survive as a race, as a human race, we need to eat. We also need to produce young. So both of these activities are encouraged by nature. And when we're doing one of these activities, dopamine is released naturally by our bodies. Dopamine is released, we feel good. And so because we get the dopamine, yeah, we eat. And because we get the dopamine, yes, we act to produce children and we extend our race. It's vital. If we don't eat, we don't survive. If we don't produce young, then all that's here is all that's ever going to be here. And our race has no future. We must do these crucial things. And isn't it interesting that giving generously of yourself produces dopamine just like doing all of these other essential functions releases it. So what does that mean? That means to survive as a race, as a people, we must give. It's as essential as eating and producing children. It is essential that we give. And compassion is our gateway to giving. And giving is our gateway to healing. I know that every time I've been hurt or I've been suffering in my life, the thing that provided the most healing for me, the thing that started healing for me, the one thing that unlocked all of those other traits that I'm going to need in the healing process, the strength, the courage, the steadfastness, all of these things are preceded by compassion. When I feel heard, when I feel like someone else is understanding of my suffering, oh, someone gets it. Isn't it nice to sit down and talk to somebody and tell them about something that you're suffering with and just have them hear you? Just have them try to understand your point of view. Just having somebody nod and a concerned look, a loving touch, maybe somebody, that's really something. And somebody touches you on the shoulder, just that little bit of touch, just that little bit of understanding is enough to bring you to tears. It's so powerful. Someone's hearing me. That is at the forefront of all healing. And then the compassion, the acts that come from that feeling of compassion that you allow to well up in yourself. When we're acting out of compassion, when we're acting out of care for another. All of these are healing acts. And when we do them, we are rewarded by the universe. We're rewarded by our bodies to say, yes, you're doing the right thing. Here's a little dopamine for you. Here's some feel good to encourage you to keep doing this. Not keep suppressing this. Not, oh, keep this exclusive. We don't want to be compassionate about too many things, too many people. Okay, keep a handle on this. Keep it down. No, that is not what we're encouraged to do. We're encouraged to let this out. Let it thrive. Let our compassion grow and touch as many people as we can. So I know I said Rambo didn't have any compassion, and he didn't really express compassion in the movie, but the movie First Blood itself has compassion in it, and the whole thing hinges on compassion. There's a point in the film, and I'm sorry if I'm giving spoilers, but the movie is probably about 30 years old. So if you haven't seen it yet, I'm sorry, you might want to plug your ears because I'm going to talk about the ending. But Rambo is this unstoppable machine. And eventually, all the fighting culminates into a standstill, a standoff, where there's a bunch of cops and law enforcement, an unstoppable force outside. And you got the unstoppable force that's in the building. Rambo, he's got a hostage. And there's an unstoppable force inside the building. And they're at an impasse. They can't talk. He can't be coaxed out. He can't be calmed down. No one can talk to him until his old commander from the service arrives. His old Special Forces commander, Colonel Troutman, arrives. And what does he do? He talks to Rambo. He empathizes with Rambo. He listens to Rambo. Rambo's had some terrible experiences in his life. There's a reason why he's a loner, just out walking the roads by himself, because of what he's been through. And the only thing that brings him down, that brings him back into his humanity, is the compassion that he gets from his commander. The compassion that says, hey, I know what you've been through. I know how you're feeling. I understand. And it's all right. You're all right. That is the only thing that brings Rambo back into himself. And eventually he surrenders. This machine is negotiated with and brought down by compassion. I never really thought about it before. Before I sat down to write this talk, I didn't realize that compassion saves the day. Love saves the day. So, how do we unlock more love and compassion in our lives? In our lives, how do we practice compassion? Well, there's a few different things that you can do, and the best place to start practicing compassion is with yourself. I don't know if you're like me, but I'm rather hard on myself. And I'm hard on myself because that's what I deserve. I deserve a firm hand, and I deserve to be brought down a notch. So when I make mistakes, if I'm sitting down and I'm writing something out and I make a mistake of what I'm writing, Dave, why did you do that? Oh, you are such an idiot. If I make a wrong turn, God, why did you do that? That was dumb, Dave. You're so dumb. Why am I saying this to myself? I love myself. And if I make a mistake, I'm making an innocent mistake. I don't need to berate myself for making mistakes. I need to love myself. I need to be patient with myself. I need to be compassionate with myself. So the best place to start practicing compassion is right in here, is with yourself. I found a great meditation, a great practice from Swami Ramananda of the Integral Yoga Institute. And this is an exercise to open yourself up and connect with your heart. And what I want to do is I want to take you through this exercise and take you through to the end. And so we're going to do a little bit of guided meditation right now. Are you guys game for that? Are you game to feel more compassion in your life and more compassion towards others? All right. I got some people signing on. I got some hands being raised. Let's get our compassion on. So sit comfortably in your chair, please, if you will. Put your feet flat on the ground. Sit straight up, comfortable, balanced. And let's take a few slow breaths. And silently to yourself, set the intention that you are now ready, willing, and able to open your heart, to open your heart to love, to open your heart to compassion. And as you sit, peaceful, balanced, and open, call to your mind a person that you love. That person in your life that is the lucky recipient of all your grace. The person that you forgive without a thought. The person that you seek to understand. The person that fills your heart and mind with love and support. Just the mention of their name makes you feel better. But dwell on that person. Dwell on that feeling. Dwell on their presence in your heart. And feel the energy moving outward from your heart and flowing toward that loved one. Just feel the love energy that you have inside of you, inside of your heart, flowing freely and fully out to that person that you love. Let's just sit in that loving feeling for a moment, knowing that this is what life is all about. Love. Now experiment with turning that same loving energy, that same feeling of unending support, that same willingness to forgive, that same love. Turn that loving energy and direct it towards yourself. Open your heart to yourself. You are every bit as worthy of love as the beloved person that we just thought about. You're every bit as worthy. every bit as receptive, every bit as blessed. And if critical thoughts or feelings of unworthiness arise, let compassionate energy flow towards you, towards yourself, accepting yourself exactly as you are, exactly as the whole, perfect, and complete, blessed child of God that you are. Quiet those voices of unworthiness, because they're not true. You are worthy of your love. Now direct this energy gently again outward, and call into your mind other people that you know, embracing each one with the same compassion, accepting both their strengths and their shortcomings. They too are worthy of your love. The beauty of the heart is that it has the capacity to embrace everything. The beauty of the heart is that it has the capacity to embrace everything. And I'll say that one more time. The beauty of the heart is that it has the capacity to embrace everything. And as we bring this meditation to a close, let us close with an intention to carry that open-heartedness with us into our day, into the world. If there's a word or phrase that embodies your intention for this practice, call it to mind throughout the day. Tell yourself, I am breathing through the heart. Or, let me breathe through the heart. And know that you can shower this compassion. You have access to this love. You have access to your heart. And you are free to feel compassion towards anyone, towards anything. You have no limits and no restrictions. And so it is. Thank you.